Good morning. It's Sunday. I have no idea what date it is because everything's running together. But again, I've got with me this Miami Hurricane loving freak of nature, Anthony Del Judas. What's going on, man?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. Where are you at? Indiana?
I am in Indiana, Kokomo.
Oh, about
Get there
time.
fast, and then we'll take it slow.
There you go. We finally got some better internet. So
That's right.
thank you, Joe, in the background. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're not in the boonies in Citrus County, man.
Hey, that's it. All right. So we're going to jump right into this. The MLB bubble. What do you think about what's going on? How do you feel about that for the playoffs? What's your take
I
on
don't like
this?
it. And I'm going to tell you the only reason I don't like it is because all the games are being played on the West Coast. Granted, I think they said the first round of the division or wild card or something like that, the team with the better seed is getting the home field for 3 games for the series. But then I think it all switches to San Diego, Arlington, Houston, and one other city out there. I don't like that everything's going west. And why? It makes no sense.
Well, the thing that doesn't make sense to me is you play all your games all year long at different various stadiums, and now all of a sudden come the playoff time, the most important time, you change it up. Not let alone the fact that you're allowing fans by the thousands at these football games. So how do you justify that? That's the part I don't understand. Like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Well, and not only that, but it's not fair to a team you take like the Yankees, who now they got to travel west. Like Aaron Boone was saying the other day, he told his family, "Look, I'm not going to see you for another 6 weeks." So it doesn't make any sense why they can't play a division series at home or split the series like they always do. You've been traveling for 60-something games to begin with. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think it's stupid. Like, I don't get it one bit.
No, that's
So
what it's come to.
Well, who came up to this? Was this at the beginning of the season, or did they just configure all this to make it happen?
I don't remember hearing it early. I saw it, I think it was a week or two ago. I saw MLB Bubble, and I started to think, oh, what the hell? What's going on now? And then I saw that they're going to be playing all the games out west, and I said, yeah, that's just a crock of shit. It doesn't make any sense, but, trying to figure out what these leagues and what these teams are going to do now, it's beyond reason.
I mean, this is off topic, and I know you don't have this in your notes because I tried to prep you, but who do you think's going to win? Who do you think's going to win it all?
Oh, God. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say who I wouldn't mind see winning it. I'm not going to say the Yankees because that's cliche.
Because we know they're not. That's easy.
Well, they don't have the pitching. Tanaka's been getting hammered. Jay Haps hasn't been pitching great. I wouldn't mind seeing San Diego win.
I could see that.
I just think their pitching is a little young and unexperienced yet. Now, if they go out in the offseason to get an experienced pitcher to go with those kids and sort of gel with them, they're going to hit the ball with anybody.
See, I think it's going to be San Diego versus Chicago, the White Sox. And I can see that if the White Sox have any kind of consistency when it comes to pitching, I mean, their offense I don't think is second to anybody, in my personal opinion. So I think, and then you have talks about how Manny Machado was supposed to go to Chicago, and how better fitting can it be than these two teams in 2020 with everything that's going on, that these two teams are in the World Series? I don't know. It might be a stretch, but I could see the White Sox taking all. And I wouldn't mind because I like that White Sox team.
I remember Joe saying at the beginning of the year, we were talking about it, and they made a few acquisitions. I think getting Dallas Keuchel was huge. You put a veteran in that rotation. Then you get a young guy like Giolito. Joe said at the beginning of the year, look out, because that team, like you said, they are going to hit the ball with anybody, just like the Padres.
Oh, yeah.
They are stout up and down the lineup, and they're young.
And that's what I was going to say. It reminds me of like these past Yankees teams that can really produce, but they're younger and stay healthy.
And what I like on top of it too, and people might say it doesn't make a difference, but it makes a hell of a lot of difference. You have a lot of young Latin kids on that team with a Latin manager who is probably making them feel extremely comfortable putting them in that lineup every day and saying, look, go play.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
you have Rick Renneria, who I actually like the guy. Then you have the Jimenez kid, who I don't know how old these kids are, but you have Jimenez,
Stud.
Robert, Moncada, Grandal. So, but then you throw in a veteran like Abreu, who's Spanish or Latin, And it's like, all right, we got something going here.
Yeah, that team's. I don't think they're just good this year. I think as long as they can stay together and like I said, if that pitching can stay consistent or becomes consistent, that could be the next team that goes on a little 2, 3, 4 year run
Well, sure, and it's gonna
without
depend-
trash cans.
What's that?
Without trash cans.
Well, sure, but then it's going to depend too. You have teams like Cleveland who all the talk in the world is Lindor's going to be gone. Outside of that, you have Minnesota. They can hit the ball, but you got a kid like Barrios he's iffy. I don't believe in the kid.
No, I don't like him.
Then they have, I believe, Odorizzi's still there, but I don't know what he's done and stuff like that. But
so not to cut you off, but you know what the Cleveland Indians remind me of, and call me crazy, but first of all, I don't think that they are that good in a sense all around. Like they always perform and they win games, but they're that team that you can never rule out because they're known to win 2-1, 3-2. They remind me of Lecanto. Like, and what I say by that is every time we played Lecanto, it was we should kill this team, right? And what ended up happening? I mean, there was times where we blew them out, but there was always times where we'd win 3-1, 4-1, 3-2, and I'm
what would
scratching
happen
my
is
head
you
like,
would
what
have
the
a
hell?
kid go out there, soft throwing to medium paced Chris Hudak, who would go out there with a decent fastball, but then a decent off speed pitch, and it's like we should maul him.
And let me
In
tell you
all
something.
honesty,
In Chris Hudak's defense, because he may watch this one day, and I don't know if he will, probably the most underrated player to come out of Citrus County in our generation. Because
when
I'm
he
gonna tell you
played
what,
with us over
he
the
was
summer,
legit.
he actually threw the ball really good for us. But then there was a kid there, and I won't make it long. Denver Keeney was a lefty who he used to he'd get on the mound and think he was King Dick. Well, we went out there one night and beat him 17-1. I went 5 for 5 with 6 RBIs and said, "Here's something for you to hold, fucker." And
back to Chris Hudak real quick because we need to move on to the next topic. First of all, I don't know why he pitched. He probably pitched because nobody else could, but that wasn't his position. He was a hell of a middle infielder. I think a second baseman, dude, he was lights out defensively and consistent. Never struck out. Always put the ball in play. Didn't hit pop-ups. He hit the ball hard. Anyways, long story short, I like Chris.
What sucks is, especially in a county like that, when they find out that you can pitch somewhat, that's what you end up doing.
Yeah, that's why I pitched. Oh, anyways, next topic. All right, so the Watt brothers are playing this week.
Mm-hmm.
You got TJ, JJ, and what's the third one's name?
Derek,
that's right. Derek. What are your thoughts on three brothers playing in one game? And in the NFL, it's something for two brothers to be playing in the NFL, period.
To me, all it does is it goes back to good genes.
I was just about to say, like, I wonder what Mama Dukes is like because, man, she's produced 3 studs.
Yeah. I mean, studs ain't the word. Those kids are
corn-fed.
But then again, it's one of those things where the older brother, who's the oldest, JJ?
I think so. I think it's JJ.
It's probably sort of set the toll for him. Look, this is it. And I think one of the other ones went to Wisconsin. One or two. Did they all 3 go there?
No idea. None.
But, that
should have looked that up.
What I like about it, it's a good thing. It's obviously good for the family. Look, we got our 3 kids playing in the NFL. They're playing against each other. But the one thing with these guys, you never hear anything bad from them or against them. There's no negativity that surrounds them.
Well, yeah, they play the game right. It honestly reminds me of the Mannings. Like, loved Peyton Manning, was not a huge Eli Manning fan. I respected his talent and what he did for the Giants, but I just wasn't a huge Eli fan. But, I mean, you look at that whole entire family. Have you ever heard of anything bad other than Eli refusing to go to, the Chargers when he got drafted or something like that? But other than that,
to a certain degree, I respect that.
Not me, I think.
I mean,
you're not privileged, buddy.
Because he spoke up. I don't like it because, look, you're coming out of college from Mississippi and you're going to make millions of dollars. Go play whoever fucking drafts you.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you see year after year these quarterbacks getting stuck with teams like Cincy and getting caught up in a mix, and you never hear from them again.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him for saying, why the fuck would I want to play for the Chargers?
It's one of those things, though. I mean, I guess if you feel entitled, then whatever. But long story short, it is what it is. So next, I want to talk about these NFL masks and how they're being fined $100,000. Now, I somewhat know kind of your take on this, but what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's the stupidest thing it's stupid. Look, you're on a sideline. If you're going to allow fans in the stadium, 20,000 fans, what is one coach on each side of the sideline going to do?
Well, see, this is what pisses me off because I'm all about, you know me, I'm all about structure, rules. If a rule is in place that you must do this, okay, I get it. If they break that rule, I get it, hold them accountable. But I think $100,000 is extreme, and here's why I think they're doing it. They have to make money somehow because they're not. I mean, yes, some teams are starting to let fans in, but they got to make money somehow. If you truly want to do the right thing and you're all about, we want to be careful and we want to, support something, right? Why not give that $100,000 that they're being fined to? Because that's fine. It's a rule. They broke it. They know the stipulation. Own up to it. But why not give that $100,000 to, I don't know, a hospital, a living facility? Why aren't they forced to give that money to something that's actually going to get used for a good cause instead
it's
of
going into the owner's pocket?
But that's what I'm saying. So, like, you have these the NFL commissioner, whatever you want to say, whoever's collecting that money, why? It's because they're not getting money, in my opinion, from a different outlet, whether it be from the fans that are coming into the stands or whatever. So they got to make money somehow, and what better way to say, oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and tax these coaches.
These snake oil salesmen, they're not losing money. They're all worth billions of dollars.
That's true.
But like you said, it goes back to the point, if the league instituted a rule or the team instituted a rule that, look, you have to wear a mask, wear the mask.
Yeah.
If you know you're going to be fined, at that point it's on you. And I don't blame them. Look, if you're just going to blatantly disobey the rule, we're going to hit you good.
Hey, can we just give DeSantis a huge shout out for finally lifting everything? I mean, I think that's
absolutely.
Amazing.
Hey,
thank
Governor
you,
DeSantis,
Ron.
if someday you do watch this, you saved it, man. Loft bound in a couple weeks, my man.
That's right. Theme party from what I hear, right?
You ain't getting me in no toga.
Hey, Joe Faraday put on there, what was it? He said something about a Corona relief party. I thought it was great.
It's perfect.
Everyone dress up as, never mind, I'm not going to get into it. But anyways,
Huh.
after week 2, who do you got as the best team and the worst team so far? Just after 2 weeks. Not what they should be or what they shouldn't be.
The worst team, hands down, the Atlanta Falcons.
Ooh, strong disagreements. But go on.
Really?
Yeah, go on. I'll get to that in a second.
God, best team. That's tough, man. I mean, how can you not go with, like, the Green Bay Packers?
Well, you could.
Who
And you are.
all the talks going into the year where, what's Rodgers going to do now that they drafted this kid first overall? Well, he's only come out and looked like an MVP.
Yeah, but that just goes to show you the difference of a great quarterback and somebody who you think's going to be great but needs all the ingredients to go with it to be great. That's what separates Aaron Rodgers from everybody else, because for years now he's had nothing, and he's always above the rest, right? So I mean, to your point, like, I agree with that, but I don't think that the Packers right now are the best overall team. I think they're top 3 guaranteed. But
best overall, I was just talking about this. Maybe the Seahawks.
I mean, I did pick
and then
them last week.
you could throw. God, there's been so many, like. How do you blow a 20-point lead that they blew against the Cowboys last week, the Falcons?
Yeah.
Dude, that's bad.
That's really bad. But,
that's bad.
So
I mean, the Jets, they're bad. There's a handful of teams.
Well, that's who I was going to go with, the Jets. And here's why I say the Jets instead of the Falcons, because the Falcons, you can see the potential. You can see, okay, they're going to win games because their offense is so explosive. Their defense is atrocious. I agree with that. But all around team, it's the Jets, in my opinion. They've been beat by double digits so far in both games, and it hasn't even been close. There hasn't even been signs of hope in any aspect of that, offense or defense. So I say, from just 2 weeks now, I have to lean towards the Jets. And the reason I don't say the Falcons, man, is because they can go put up 500 yards of offense, score 40 points, and we'll give up 41. Like, Yeah, they suck defensively, but offensively, I think they can compete with anybody. Week 1 against the Seahawks, I don't know what the hell happened,
The
but
Jets dug the hole for themselves. First of all, I would have never signed a prima donna Le'Veon Bell like they did. I do not like the guy one bit.
yeah, I
He's
don't
a
either.
cancer to a team.
Agreed.
Secondly, why do you go out and get rid of your best defensive player? I mean,
Maybe they want Trevor. I don't know.
well, if you're not, you draft Darnold, who I don't think is a bad quarterback.
I don't either. I don't either.
I don't see them tanking. You know, I was talking to Joe earlier. What did the Falcons do with Matt Ryan if they have a bad year?
Yeah, but see, again, how do you put the blame on him when he's doing his job but the defense sucks? Like, do you just make a statement and say, oh, you know what, we're going to get rid of Matt Ryan to make an example? Or do you say, hey, listen, we really need to get our head out of our ass and really do something with this defense? Because,
They
listen,
need
you
a
got
running
Dan,
back.
you got, what do you mean they need a running back? They got
Kevin
Gurley.
Coleman's not going to cut it.
They have Gurley.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, what's Gurley done the last 2 years?
He's been used like a freaking mule. They give him 1,000 carries a year. Not really, but you get what I'm saying. So now you put him in a team where that's explosive offensively that can pass the ball and mix it in with him. Long story short, I don't think they're hurting offensively. I think they can compete with anybody. Their defense sucks. And you got Quinn as your head coach who is known for defensive play, and you have decent talent. I just don't get it. I don't know if it's they haven't gelled yet, they haven't clicked yet.
Yeah, well, he might be collecting that $300 unemployment check here soon.
Listen, that's my next topic. Is Dan Quinn fired not after this year? Is he fired after this game if they lose to the Bears?
I don't think it'll be after this game just because it's week 3, and
That's
it's still
0-3.
Still early. Anything can still happen.
That's true.
But
I don't know, man. I could see it. They've been talking about
things for them aren't going to get any easier in that division.
That's true, but he's been on the hot seat now for a couple years, and
since he blew a 28-point lead in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's just absolutely crazy, but I don't know. I could see it happening. I don't think it will. I mean, realistically, like you said,
I think their owner Arthur Blank is a little more loyal, and I'll say, you know what? Let's see how this goes. I don't think that he'll wait all year.
No, I think realistic timetable. I think I think once they're mathematically eliminated from any kind of playoff potential, he's gone. And I'll tell you what, man, I love Quinn. I don't think he's a head coach material. I think he's a defensive coordinator by trade and should be. And he can go help a defense out. If that was his main focus and he have to worry about everything else, I think that's where they'd get the most out of him.
Sure.
But just my opinion. But yeah, I can see him gone before the year's over. All right, next we got, I see the hat. Best NCAA football team in the state of Florida right now. All right, again, as of right now, not what you think is going to be the best, because my answer is different on that. But after these first couple games, who do you like? You got Florida State, UCF, Florida, and Miami. We'll just stick to those 4.
Well, I'm going to be biased, but everything proves why I can be biased and say Miami. I mean, yeah, last night, Florida State is what they are. They're bad. But Miami's defense last night, you had 6 guys on the receiver or runner in the backfield. That was the best I've seen that defense play in probably 15 years. I mean, they showed up. And that offense, when you have a guy like Brevin Jordan and Mallory, the other tight end, they're wide receivers. They don't have any big, prototypical wide receivers, quote unquote, but they are fucking quick, man. I mean, they can get behind these defensive backs. And the whole difference is you bring in the De'Aaron King kid from Houston. He's poised. He's proven. He can stand in the pocket and throw. He can run. He can get rid of the ball. Doesn't make bad decisions. Florida's going to be good. They're going to make their adjustments. Dan Mullen's a good coach. He is what he is. But, I mean, right now, how do you not say Miami?
No, I agree with you. I think it is Miami, and I think it's pretty easily. And here's why I say this. Because all around, again, I mean, their defense, it's the biggest and strongest and fastest Miami team I've seen since the Ed Reed days, Ray Lewis days. I mean, it's been a while. I mean, they've always had good teams, but they're strong, they're fast, they're big. Like they're men amongst boys out there. And after their first game, I was like, okay, Louisville, whatever. And Florida State sucks. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't just that they won; they completely dominated from the kickoff until the end of the game. Now, number 15, I think was his name Phillips or something like that.
Yeah,
I can't stand him. He's great. I don't like him. After seeing last night's game and he finally took his helmet off and started showing who he truly is, I think he's a scumbag. But anyways, that team.
I like what happened when they came out of half. The reporter, said she talked to Miami's offensive coordinator and said, what's your plan for the second half? And he says, I'm not taking my foot off the gas. And that's going back to the Jimmy Johnson days and saying, look, if you don't want us to score, stop us.
I'm glad you brought him up. What was his name? Rhett something? Rhett Ashley?
Yeah.
Rhett Ashley. How'd you think of those pants that he was wearing? Did you catch a glimpse of that, seeing as you like to always make fun of me in my tight jeans? Did you get to see that?
He was smuggling grapes. But I like it, though. Manny Diaz has finally got somebody in there that's saying, you know what? Let the boys play.
No, I agree. I love everything about the Miami team right now. Listen, I'm a diehard Florida fan, and you know this, and I love that offense. But for the first time in probably 10, 15 years that I can remember, that defense was absolutely atrocious. It could be because it was their first game and they haven't got to do whatever, but I don't give a damn. Defense is defense. You have a scheme against a team that I don't care that they bring in Kiffin or not. You shouldn't give up almost 500 yards of offense against.
I was telling Joey yesterday, it's going to take a little bit, a game or two, 3 games. When you lose guys like Granardo and Zuniga, your 2 defensive ends, granted it's an SEC school and it's just, all right, we'll fill in another guy. No, you don't just fill in a guy. It's going to take time.
No, I agree with that, but they've got the talent. Like, again, it's not one of these schools that go and get an amazing 5-star recruit and then they're hoping and praying that he never leaves and then he does and then you never fill that place. They're getting 5-star recruit after 5-star recruit after 5-star recruit. Number 8, Cox and Dexter yesterday for the
I like the Brian Cox kid.
Listen, man, they're good, but that's what I'm saying. So yeah, you get rid of Zuniga and these Grenard guys. Yes, you lose valuable pieces to that defense, but you're not replacing them with slums. You know what I mean? You're bringing in good core talent. So again, long story short, I think that offense is way better than Miami's consistently because Trask, I don't care what anybody says, he is an NFL-ready quarterback because of his decision-making skill and his accuracy. And then you have the best tight end in the nation in Pitts.
Well, I see. What I think those 2 offenses, they're the same exact thing. You have 2 quarterbacks that can throw the ball. You have 2 tight ends that are really good, and your receivers are the exact same thing. They're all probably between 5'10" and 6 foot and can run like deers.
Yeah, I'm not sold on that defense yet. Now, I think in 2, 3, 4 weeks, and that you'll really start to see that Florida defense. I think they'll be the Florida defense.
It's going to show when they play teams like Alabama.
Yeah,
that's who they haven't played in regular season in a few years.
And I don't want to discredit UCF. I think they're an amazing school, and I think
they got the Gabriel kid back.
Right, but it brings me back to the Boise State days where everyone's like, oh, they're really not that good. They just don't play anybody. Listen, D1 is D1. I think they're great. But here's why I don't think that they're the best yet. It's because I haven't seen them go and play a big-time school. They played, I think it was Auburn a year or 2 ago and beat them. I'll give them that. But I need to see it now. I need to see them play one big team that's bigger and stronger and faster than them and produce the same number. If they do that, you would be a fool to not say that they're not the best school in the state because they're legit, dude. Like they win, and they put up big numbers, and their defense is better than people think they are. But I need to see it up against a big-time school because you beating up on some of these smaller schools.
Yeah, what are they in the? No, they're not in the Sun Belt. I can't think of the division they're in, but sure. I agree.
Yeah. Let me see. Since we're on that topic, this isn't in the notes either, but the Pac-12 and Big Ten finally said that they're going to come and play. Just really quick, I don't want to talk about this too much because honestly, I can't stand either one of those conferences. But do you think they have a legit chance of being in the playoffs whatsoever with 7 or 8 games?
No,
or whatever they have.
They shouldn't be.
I agree because let's say Ohio State. Let's just say they go 7-0, 8-0. But then you have an SEC school. We'll just say Alabama because they're notorious for just beating everybody. And they play 10, 11, 12 games. So you got 3 to 4 games more. How are you going to prove to me that they deserve it more than that team that played
You
4
can't.
more games? Exactly. But
the thing is,
they will.
We all know how notorious these committees are. They are Ohio State nut huggers.
Agreed.
It seems like every time where it's between Ohio State and another team to get into the playoff, it's Ohio State.
And I hate it. I hate every bit of it. I agree with
you.
you.
And like you said, you can't have a team playing a 7-game schedule when they had every opportunity to play that 10-game schedule and chose not to. And then you have the SEC and ACC teams. You can't make them suffer.
Right. Yeah. Gronk. I don't know if you read about this. They did an interview with the other day, and they were talking about his lack of production. He goes, "I'm here to block, baby."
That's it. Look, that's Gronk being Gronk. I don't think he meant anything by it.
I secretly think he's pissed.
I don't. You just watch. That's Gronk being Gronk. He's going to have a game where he has about 140 yards receiving.
So you know where I think this is different? First of all, let me go back a little bit. I'm pissed that he came back and played in the NFL. Not because I don't like him or I don't think that, he's good or anything like that. I was excited to see him in WWE. I think his personality, his goofiness, his stupidness is perfect for that. Coming back to the NFL, listen, I think he got out the right way and before he ended his career permanently. Listen, there's a reason why, in my opinion, that his production is low. It's not because they don't want to target him. I don't think he can perform like he did. He's much slower. His knees are they're a play away from being shot. I just think when he said, "I'm here to block," I think that's a true statement. They're probably not using him as any kind of deep threat or anything like that because they've got other tight ends that can actually outrun and perform when it comes to receiving. But, man, I'm disappointed that he's back in the NFL. Only because of selfish reasons.
Brady's not going to not throw the ball to him.
And that's true. But it's not going to be
he's going to have his, like I said, he's going to have his games where he's going to get his yards.
Yeah, it's true. He probably will.
It's not going to be the New England days. It's just not the offense.
Right. But I'm selfish, and I wanted to see him wrestle and not catch passes from Tom Brady anymore. So there's that. Anyways, we're both Dolphin fans, and
Yep.
I think we were both pretty excited about that Thursday night win, and I think they looked great, and I think they're a lot better than people give them credit for. I don't think that they're a playoff team yet, but I could easily see them going 7-9, 9-7, depending on how it goes. They lost to 2 pretty good teams in the Bills and the Patriots, and then they did exactly what they should have done against the Jaguars. But our topic's not about that. I just wanted to throw that out there and give my Dolphins some love. But what did you think about Fitzpatrick? What did you think about, not his performance? I don't care about his performance. That's a given. How about that attire afterwards?
I didn't see what he was wearing.
Oh,
but I know
man.
he's been known to be a bit flashy.
Well, listen, he comes out in his little beach button shirt, unbuttoned, hair poking out, saying that all the ladies should want him, but he's taken. Dude, he is a legend.
That's
Fitzpatrick is a legend.
I think he's a perfect fit for them. And like you said, yeah, they're not going to win a ton of games. That's the Dolphins. But going back to what I said earlier about somebody else, back to what I was saying about the Watt kids, he's not going to get in trouble. He's going to go out. He's probably one of the toughest quarterbacks in football.
Oh, hands down.
At what is he, 35, 36 years old?
Yeah, something like that. Hey, what's the over-under on his kids? He's got 12, 13. How many has he got? I think it's seriously like 7 or 8.
I can't even find a girlfriend. The guy's got 13 kids.
Yeah, well, hey, shit happens. Then you wipe. But anyways, still on Fitzpatrick. Do you think he's the perfect fit for Tua? Do you think Tua is learning from his best option from Fitzpatrick? Do you think that's a good fit that he's there?
Sure.
And why is that?
I just because Fitzpatrick's always been tossed around. We all know that. He's always flown under the radar. But then you saw what he did with Tampa Bay when he came in and did the whole Fitzmagic shit. But I think the positivity that surrounds him, it would go a long way for a guy like Tua. Now, granted, I told you earlier when I was texting you, I think Tua being from Hawaii and being the whole what do they call it? Like the mana, the aura that surrounds people. I think that the kid's a positive kid anyway, and it's going to take a lot to get to it. You're not going to see him in any kind of trouble whatsoever.
Hey, real quick, I just went to the chats. Devin, I see you, and I'm sorry I missed all your comments. What's up, buddy? Let me read them really quick. Yo, Astros baby, you're a loser. Shut up. Hey, I got a question for Ant, a.k.a. Ghost. I love it. JJ baby, it's again, Texas fan. Can you guys see me? I can't see you. But please, by all means, please type in your question as we carry on. Sorry, Ant, I had to throw that out there, but I had to give my boy Devin some love. All right, so here's
Fear
my
the beard.
Yeah, fear the beard. Here's my here's my thoughts on the whole Fitzpatrick thing. I think he's a perfect one. He's a super smart guy, so I think Tua can learn from his, as far as reading defenses, learning the playbook and all that stuff. But I think the trait that a lot of people don't even take into consideration is when you watch Fitzpatrick play, he plays with fun and excitement. And what I mean by that is he doesn't take it as it's a business, because 95% of that league, everybody knows it's all about business. I must perform or I'm going to be fired, right? Fitzpatrick says, listen, I've been around since the dinosaurs. I've played for 8 different teams or whatever it is. You know, he's going out there saying, listen, this could be my last snap. I'm going to go balls to the wall and have absolutely fun. And I think what he's showing too is, listen, this is a business and you must perform, but you have to have fun while you're doing it, because there's no difference in playing high school, college, or or at the NFL level. If you take the fun out of the game, you don't perform your best. And I think Fitzpatrick is showing Tua that, listen, man, you can still be great and you can have fun, because everybody, and I was watching an interview the other day with Pat McAfee. Love him, by the way. I think he's the man.
He's great.
Yeah, but Kyle Van Noy was on there, and he was a guest, and he was saying, listen, we absolutely love Ryan Fitzpatrick. We know Tua is the future, and we're happy for him, and we love him just as much. But Fitzpatrick gives us that sense of fun and makes us want to play at a higher level, and I think that's incredible, man. I think for Tua to see that, knowing he's the future, all he has to do is focus on learning the playbook and the system, and then you throw in that fun factor.
Yeah, and don't go focusing on having 12 kids.
Well, a little fun on the side.
That could set you back a little bit.
It depends. Only if he gets divorced and there's child support. But anyway.
Yeah, well, when you got 12 of them hitting you for 50%, that ain't going to go a long way.
He better play for 30 years.
That's it.
All right, since we're still on the whole Tua thing, I'm going to skip over a couple topics. We'll get to some of the others later. But Tua, I just read yesterday, actually, this is new to me, that I guess his all-around contract, I think, is a total of $30 million or something like that, with his, I think his signing bonus is $17 or $19 million. I can't remember the exact numbers. I should have wrote it down. But he's saying that he's not taking a single paycheck from his contract, that he's putting it all into savings because he doesn't want to go broke like most athletes do. So the only money he's going to make, and I say only, it's going to be a ton of money from his endorsements, but he said, I'm only going to take my endorsement money and I'm going to live off of that. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, I think that's genius.
I think it's a good thing, and, it's wishful thinking. I mean, it's going to be hard to do, because what people don't realize, he got a $19 million signing bonus. Okay, you got taxes coming out of that. Then you got agent fees. Then you got this, you got that, you got this cousin coming out of the woodworks. It's not the $30 million is not $30 million.
Okay, it's 20. Let's say it's $20 million. Let's say it's $15 million.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's say you cut that in half, $15 million, and he puts it aside, because I read the article. He said it's out of sight, out of mind. I'll never know it's there. He goes, I know it's there, but I'll never see it. Right. So let's say old cousin Vinny Bussa, whatever, comes out of the woodworks, right, and says, hey, Tua, I need $1 million. And he says, okay, hey, I'm a family man. I'll take care of my family. Let me pull it out of this endorsement. I think he can do it, because I think if you don't see it, you don't know you have it. It'd be different if you put $15 million aside and you're only getting $1,000 coming in. Like,
you got to hope the endorsements are there.
There already are. He already bought it was like a $1 million house for him near the Miami Stadium. He bought an $80,000 vehicle for one of his parents. He bought a $10,000 Rolex for his dad, and he said those are things I've always wanted to do because I want to take care of my family. So the money's coming in.
You get that out of the way, and you do what you got to do.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I think it's feasible. Like, I think he could easily do it again. if the proportionate amount of money is coming
What I
in.
like about him is when the whole draft thing was going on, he was at home. The traditional Hawaiian lei around the neck, whatever. You didn't see him hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt and jewelry before he was even called his name on the board. Like these other idiots that have $100,000 diamond watch, $500,000 diamond chain, and then they got these jewelers chasing them down for years for their money. There's no reason when you're making $30 million or your contract's $30 million, and then after that, because I think it's only 5 or 6 years, those contracts.
But see, I agree with all you. I'm not trying to persuade that differently. But here's what I really think is awesome about this. Like my brain works differently, so I think about this completely differently. What that tells me is he's thinking about his future for money, which tells me that he's thinking about his future as a quarterback. Like I flipped the script. I'm thinking, okay, if he can think long term for his personal finances, I think he's going to think for his future as far as gameplay. And what I mean by that is preparation, how he handles himself, how he trains, how he conditions, like all that stuff. I just think he's about the team.
But that could be a yin and yang.
It
I
could
know
be.
I got $30 million put away. I could just go out there and go through the movements.
Yeah, but I don't think he's like that. Like
I don't.
see him as I see him as a Russell Wilson, and what I mean by that is a little guy. He has to come out and prove people wrong because there's the doubters of the world, and you can't tell me that Russell Wilson isn't, if not the best quarterback all around, top 3, top 5, definitely top 5, without question, right? So, and I just think he reminds me a lot of Russell Wilson, and that gives me hope as a Dolphins fan, providing he stays healthy.
Well, we'll see how he fits in there.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see. Like I said with him, I don't see him being the type, because people have notoriously worried about guys getting drafted Miami because of the nightlife. You lived in West Palm. We've been to Miami numerous times. You see what it's like. And you can get caught up in it really quick.
I'm going to leave it at that. Tempting.
Yeah.
In case I didn't say it, I'm going to say it one more time. Tempting. Very tempting.
Very tempting.
I love West Palm, man. I miss it. I shouldn't say I miss it. There's days and parts of it I miss, but all around.
Well, I don't see him going out to a nightclub and spending $10,000 is what I'm saying.
No, I don't either. I mean, but at the same time, I could see him going out spending $50 if it was for his family, like on the drop of a dime. But again, it's a completely different mindset. Anyways, well, I'm going to beat a dead horse.
I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Well, you would go and spend a $400 bar tab, and I'm sure the loft is waiting for you.
I'm waiting for them.
They're open.
Touche. Morgan, shout out. Mama, Brenda, shout out to you guys.
Yeah. All right, so Jalen Hurts, when is he getting the start for the Eagles?
Well,
I'm going to tie a two-part question into this really quick. I'm not really.
Yeah, Joe goes if he gets beat today.
Exactly my thoughts. If Carson Wentz, who I think has been the biggest letdown this season so far, and then people say, "Oh, he needs more talent," bullshit. He needs to perform and stop making stupid decisions. But yeah, if he loses today, I could see Hurts coming in for if anything to put that little fire back up under Wentz and let him know that, hey, listen, nothing's promised to you, buddy. I could see.
Well, I think if like you both said, if you have a rookie quarterback like Joe Burrow come into Philadelphia and beat you, there's going to be some heads rolling, and there's no reason why it shouldn't start with the quarterback.
Yeah.
Granted, Alshon Jeffrey's been out, he's been hurt, but still, you got to make plays.
See, because I used to quarterback, and Joe knows that. So in my limited days of playing football, I always played quarterback, and one of the things I always hated is I hated how all the blame goes to the quarterback. Which, don't get me wrong, I accepted it, took it on, and I think all quarterbacks do. Like, they know it's coming. So there's a part of me that says, okay, listen, let's not blame everything on Carson Wentz. But then there's also the part of me that says, listen here, you need to get your shit together because you're not – it'd be different if he was putting up Matt Ryan numbers, right? Because I said this at the beginning of the show that you can't blame Matt Ryan for the lack of defense. But I can blame Carson Wentz for only scoring 17 points and giving up a lead to the –
At the same time, does Carson Wentz have a Julio Jones and Sanu to throw to?
Don't care. I don't care. And I'm going to tell you why I don't care. Because they've glorified him as the next god, right? They got rid of Nick Foles because he's the man. He's the next thing in Philly. So I don't care what you look at. Look at Aaron Rodgers. You're going to try to tell me Aaron Rodgers has better weapons? Yeah, he's got Adams. I'll give him that. But he was hurt all of last year, and what else does he have? Adams is hurt now.
Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. Though.
Okay, but that's my point. So again, he's got to perform. Joe Burrow's performing, and he's got to beat up A.J. Green all the time. And what else?
That's Broadway Joe. That's Broadway Joe.
And I don't
any
like
quarterback that can win a fucking national championship and smoke a cigar afterwards. I'm a fan.
You see, that's the only thing that I liked about him. I don't like his cockiness.
I see. I don't think it's cockiness. I think he's confident in what he can do.
Yeah, there's a fine line of confident and competitive, which I like that aspect.
I like when he went last year and he goes 1 ring, 2 rings, 3 rings at the end of the national championship, being they won the SEC, they won the championship, and something else. I love it.
All right, let's wrap it up real quick. So the last thing I want to talk about is what team right now, after 2 weeks, do you feel is the best team in football? Or did we already talk about this in the worst team? We didn't talk about that yet, did we?
We did talk about that.
We did talk about that. That's right, because I said the Jets. I don't think I ever
Let's
said
talk
who the best
about
team
who
was.
you like today.
All right, give me a game.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Who do you like?
All right, let's see. A game that I'm on. I gotta pull it up real quick.
I'm going to give you my biggest and most liked pick of the day.
All right.
Love the Green Bay Packers.
Well, first of all, they should be favored. They shouldn't be given 3 points. So, yeah, I love the Packers too. Believe it or not, I love the Falcons. -3. I know you hate that, but let me tell you something. Trubisky and the Bears are the most overrated 2-0 team there is right now. The Falcons clicked a little bit last week, even though they blew that lead. I can see them coming out winning by 10. Now, I could also see them blowing it. Like, don't get me wrong, but I'm taking the Falcons.
Bears.
Yeah, I love the Bears. You know that's my second favorite team, but I'm going against them. Another game that I love. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't love any of them. Actually, yes, I do. The Ravens. I love the Ravens over the Chiefs.
I think
And
me
I
Joe
talked
are
to
right
Joe-
along there with you.
Yeah, I talked to Joe a little bit about this, and let me tell you something. The Chiefs are great, and I've said that the only thing that can stop the Chiefs is an offense that can control the clock. Who has a better running game than the Ravens?
I'm going to break it down for you right here before you end it. And I'm going to give my pick in a way that one of our mutual so-called friends would give it.
I need names.
The one that pissed his pants on the Vegas
Yeah,
Strip.
I know. I want a name. I want it out there for the world.
Jason Richardson.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I like the fucking Ravens because the Chiefs, they couldn't move the ball against their last opponent. They're going to move it against this defense?
And that wraps up episode 3. Dude, I appreciate it.
You got it, buddy.
Joe, thanks for finally giving this man some good internet and a laptop. I am greatly appreciative. But on that note, hey, let's go watch some football and break your ankle. See you,
Yeah,
bud.
here's to you. Here's to me. The best of friends we'll ever be. And if we ever disagree, fuck you, and here's to me.
See you, man.
See you, buddy.